Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and in today's video, I bring you guys Week 12 quarterback rankings for fantasy football in 2020. Inside of this video, we are going to be going over my top 20 quarterbacks for week number 12. Now, before I get into it, I'd like to ask if that at any point inside this video you guys end up enjoying, please make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. I would really appreciate that. And if you are not new, if you could please hit the like button, that would really help me out a lot. Now, there are going to be 4 rankings videos coming out within the next, 4 hours. Going to be getting spammed with them because I was busy yesterday, busy the day before, so I didn't really have as much time to record. But once school is over next week, I finish classes on Wednesday, then there will be just content flowing all the time at a regular basis. I do apologize for that. I do hope that if you guys celebrated anything for Thanksgiving, I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. I really appreciate all the support you guys have been showing me, and I'm very thankful for all of you guys who watch my videos, so thank you guys very much. So let's get into it. Week 12 quarterback rankings. We begin with 1 through 10. Now, this week, COVID has ran wild through the NFL. A bunch of guys have the big Rona on these teams. Very sad, obviously. But we're just going to have to continue to play these games. Tua Tagovailoa, my Dolphins quarterback, doesn't look like he's going to be playing on Sunday up against the New York Football Jets. So we will be talking about Ryan Fitzpatrick later. With that said, coming in at number 1, we have Russell Wilson at the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, if you're talking about a great quarterback versus a bad defense, creating what we would call the perfect matchup. The Philadelphia Eagles defense isn't no pushover, right? They have a guy named Darius Slay there. They have one fucking player. They don't really have that great of a defense. They aren't awful, though. They're not like the worst defense in the NFL. But Russell Wilson, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, going up against a not-so-hot defense, is the recipe for success in fantasy football. I love Russell Wilson this week. I think he is going to kill Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson on Monday Night Football. Coming in at number 2, we have Patty Mahomes at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tampa Bay Tom Brady. Now, I do expect the Buccaneers to have a bounce-back game after they got their ass waxed last week. So I think that Patrick Mahomes and friends are going to be scoring a decent amount of points. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be firing back, fire the cannon. So I think that Patrick Mahomes will be able to have a lot of opportunity in this game to throw the ball if the Bucs offense shows up. Now, we've seen countless times that the Bucs offense just disappears. They do their best fucking Houdini act. But this week, it's not a primetime game. This offense has looked dreadful in all of their primetime games pretty much this season. And I guess it's maybe because Tom Brady just goes to sleep at 8 o'clock. He's not used to it. He's not fired up and ready to play at 10 o'clock when the game is coming to a close. So Pat Mahomes is going to be fired up in this one, looking like the MVP of the NFL. Probably going to be winning that award because the guy is simply built different. His only 2 interceptions this season are up against the Las Vegas Raiders. And I think Patrick Mahomes here is in for a big spot up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. At number 3, we have Kyler Murray, the short man, versus the New England Patriots in New England. Now, Kyler Murray this season has been everything under the book where you would describe amazing, fantastic, wonderful. All of those nouns, adjectives, whatever the fuck it was. I guess I didn't get that great of a grade in 3rd grade English or something, but Kyler Murray has been on fire. The New England Patriots defense stinks, and Kyler Murray is very good. This Arizona Cardinals offense is very good, and I think that the Patriots will be able to score back into this game because since Arizona doesn't have a wonderful defense, so this could be a back and forth affair between Cam Newton and Kyler Murray, 2 of the better rushing quarterbacks in the NFL, so I like Kyler Murray here as quarterback 3. At number 4, we have Josh Allen versus the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Chargers defense is hot shit. The Chargers defense is just flat out bad. They will make quarterbacks who have absolutely zero skill look like Peyton fucking Manning. So I'm going to go ahead and assume Josh Allen is going to have one of the games of his life. He's going to throw 9,000 touchdowns. I wouldn't be surprised if he was the number 1 quarterback on the week. If I'm being honest with you, all top 5 of these quarterbacks right here, I could see being the number 1 guy, and I see all of these quarterbacks putting up some big points this week. Josh Allen is absolutely insane in the membrane. He's been scoring a zillion points. I understand at the beginning of his season, he was on fire. Then kind of in the middle, he drifted away, just slowly teetering off. He wasn't playing as well. And then recently, he's been shoving his cock down defense's throats. And I think it happens again here. Josh Allen versus the Los Angeles Superchargers. At number 5, we have Justin Herbert, the pervert, at the Buffalo Bills. Now, the Buffalo Bills defense, not as good as last year. So Justin Herbert and the passing attack should be able to get foot loose up against the Buffalo Bills. And I love horsecock Herbert in this matchup. It's actually sad that now all the rookie quarterbacks are hurt besides Justin Herbert. which sucks, obviously. Not all of them, because Jordan Love is healthy, but he's not playing. With that said, Justin Herbert is in for a big matchup here. I expect this one to be a back-and-forth affair from these two teams, obviously with Buffalo winning the game and kind of keeping up a lead, but Justin Herbert have to be firing the cannon back into this one. I love Herbert at 5. At number 6, we have Mr. Discount Double Check, Aaron Rodgers versus the Chicago Bears. Now, I know some guy actually owns the Chicago Bears, but in reality, on Wikipedia after this game, we already know some fucking scumbag Green Bay Packers fan is going to change the owner of the Chicago Bears to Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers just rails the Chicago Bears like their name was Mia Malkova. It is unbelievable the amount of dicking down that Aaron Rodgers does to the Chicago Bears defense, and I think it happens again here on Sunday Night Football. Aaron Rodgers, top 6 quarterback. At number 7, we have the coordinator, Derek Carr at the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons defense is dog doo-doo. Derek Carr has been slinging the pigskin as of recently up against the Kansas City Chiefs. He looked magnificent, magnifique, as they would say in France. I believe Derek Carr has looked very good this season. He's looking like vintage Derek Carr from a couple of years ago, where he was looking like he could potentially be the MVP of the league until he ended up hurting his leg. This Atlanta defense looks very bad, and with how good Derek Carr has looked, I wouldn't be surprised if he put up his career game this week up against the Atlanta Falcons, even though his 2 performances this season up against good teams like the Kansas City Chiefs have been very good, so it shouldn't even take the hardest or the softest of matchups for Derek Carr to get rock fucking hard up against the Atlanta Falcons and blow their back out. At number 8, we have the tight end, Taysom Hill. Now, Taysom Hill didn't look great last week. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be right with you, G. He didn't look that good, right? He really didn't. He made one humongous pass that literally looked like my dad. It flipped on red zone. My dad thought they fucking punted the ball because the ball went up like this and it had an arch. It was the most unbelievable thing ever. And the cornerbacks and the safety was so fucking dumb. They thought the ball was going like 90 miles over their head, and in reality, it just dropped 15 yards behind Emmanuel Sanders, and the thing was flying in the fucking air for so long that they were able to sprint back and catch the ball. It was beautiful, but Taysom Hill didn't look great, right? But this Saints offense is going to be scoring points. They're going to be putting up big points against the Denver Broncos. I don't think the Denver Broncos defense is very good at all. The Dolphins just called a absolutely atrocious game up against that team. They didn't let Tua loose, which fucked them over, and they ended up losing the game. Taysom Hill at Denver, I love him this week. At number 9, we have Tampa Bay Tom Brady versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I spoke of the woes of Tom Brady earlier, how he didn't look that great last week and hasn't really looked all that great at all on prime time. He's not primetime Tom. He's Tampa Bay Tom Brady. And up against the Kansas City Chiefs, this screams of a game that he is in. He is going to play well up against the Chiefs. Do I think they win? No. I actually think the Kansas City Chiefs smack the ever-living shit out of them, and Tom Brady goes home and cries and doesn't end up shaking Mr. Pat Mahomes' hand at the end of the game, because Tom Brady is a sore fucking loser. Fuck you, Tom Brady. But up against the Kansas City Chiefs, I like him. I just do. I feel like he's going to play well, and I would find it very hard-pressed to sit Tom Brady this week up against the Chiefs. At number 10, we have the other Patriot quarterback, Cam Newton, versus the Arizona Cardinals. Now, Cam Newton has been, at the beginning of the season, this motherfucker came out the gates on fire like he was with Satan himself. He fucking comes out and is blazing early in the season, and then the collapse happened like Humpty Dumpty falling off a fucking wall. And then as of recently, he's built it back up Lego style and it's looked better. So what do I think about Cam Newton? I really don't know. Cam Newton on a weekly basis to me seems like the kind of a guy who I wouldn't be surprised if he dropped 30 points up against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, maybe that's a little too high, like 24, 25 fantasy points. And I wouldn't be surprised if he scored like 9, if I'm being completely honest with you, especially since this team really likes to run the ball in the red zone, and they don't necessarily need Cam Newton to run the ball every single time to confuse the defense. They give it to Harris. They give it to guys like James White. They used to give it to Sexy Rexy Burkhead, but he ended up getting hurt. Now my voice is going really, really fast. 1-2 sold to the man in the black. So, with that said, I was just doing my best auctioneer impression. Not sure what I sold to the man wearing black, but who knows? Cam Newton, though, looks good. I like Cam Newton against the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to probably feel like a dumbass when this is completely wrong, but I like him this week up against the Arizona Cardinals. Now quarterbacks 11 through 20, so if you guys have made it this far and you ended up enjoying, please make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. At number 11, we have Matty Ice Baby dun 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 versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Matt Ryan bad news Bears last week. I have never seen Matt Ryan look deflated like a fucking football in New England. He looked bad against the Saints. Bad. Like, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck happened. He just did not look right. This whole offense looks bad without Julio Jones. So if Julio Jones ends up suiting up, if he suits up, he's probably just going to be a decoy. I think he's going to be a decoy if he ends up suiting up. But with that said, I like Matty Ice this week. I think he'll be fine as long as Mr. Julio Jones suits up on Sunday. At number 12, we have Big Ben Roethlisberger versus the Baltimore Ravens. Now, this game should have happened on Thursday. They move it to Sunday. Now it's Tuesday. And James Conner has tested positive. Who knows if they play this game? Who knows? Genuinely. I have no idea if they're going to end up playing this game, but I hope they do. Big Ben versus the Baltimore Ravens. If he ends up playing, if it ends up going good on Tuesday, this is going to be a decently high-scoring matchup for the Steelers because the Baltimore Ravens are playing Robert Griffin III at the quarterback position, so I like Big Ben this week at number 12. Plus, Big Ben has looked like a stone-cold killer like his name was. What the fuck? Oh, Ray Lewis, because Ray Lewis actually murdered someone, in case you guys didn't know that. At number 13, we got Carson Wentz versus the Seattle Seahawks. Now, I don't like Carson Wentz at all. I think he's a bum. I think they should use Jalen Hurts more, but they're not going to, right? They're just not going to. So Carson Wentz going up against Seattle. This is a juicy matchup for Juicy Boy Carson Wentz. I like him a decent amount, but I don't love him because, again, he fucking sucks. At number 14, we have Ryan Fitzmagic at the New York Football Jets. Now, it appears to me that Tua's not going to play on Sunday because they went out and said Tua's questionable a few days ago. Now he's doubtful. On Saturday, when you get a doubtful designation, probably means you're not going to play. Fitzmagic up against the Jets. A revenge game, a great matchup. The first time these two teams played, though, this year, he didn't do that great because it was kind of getting out of hand. The Dolphins just absolutely skull-fucked the Jets, so I'm not going to go ahead and put him as like a top 5 quarterback or something. The matchup is amazing. I understand that, but there's obviously the risk of that they get up by 1,000,000 points, and then they just fall asleep in the game. At number 15, Ryan Tannehill at the Indianapolis Colts, former Dolphins quarterback, one of my favorite quarterbacks, because he used to be, of the Dolphins, my favorite team. With that said, up against Indy, he looked good in the first half last time these two teams played, and then the second half, this guy looked like he couldn't fucking pass the ball to someone if they were standing 3 feet in front of him. With that said, I like him in this matchup. I think this is a revenge game. I think they're going to come out fired up against the Colts and look like that first half team that they played, like the first time these teams played, the whole fucking game. I like Tannehill as an all-right start this week at quarterback 15. And number 16, we have, you like that, Kirk Cousins versus the Carolina Panthers. Now, will it be Teddy Two Gloves or will it be P.J. Walker on the other side of the ball? It didn't seem to matter when they played last week because they won, because P.J. Walker is built different. Kirk Cousins is a solid quarterback. The issue with this very tissue is what happens now that Adam Thielen has the big Rona. Are they just going to commit to the run with Dalvin Cook 7 million times, or are they going to let Kirk Cousins air it out a little bit to Justin Jefferson? I have no idea. But what I do know is that Kirk, fucking your cousin from Alabama, is going to play good. That was a terrible Alabama accent. I apologize to any of you Alabaminians. You guys from Alabama. Kirk Cousins, I like him though. Quarterback 16. Could be worse. Could be better. You get Kirk Cousins as like a top 15 or top 16 quarterback. You want to know why? Because he never really fucks you over when you start him, but he never really fucks the other team in the ass without the use of lube. At number 17, you got Jared Goff, the Goffinator, versus the San Francisco 49ers. Jared Goff Jared Goff is either king of the castle, like one of the best quarterbacks in fantasy football, or he sucks cock. He's either looking like Pat Mahomes or it looks like Mitchell Trubisky. Speaking of Mitchell Trubisky, he gets his start this week. Congrats. You get to lose to the Packers, Jared Goff. I like him here up against the 49ers. This is an easy matchup, but this game screams they get ahead and they just run the ball a bunch of times, so Goff doesn't really get his chance to play big in this matchup like he did last week up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tampa Bay Tom Brady. At number 18, we have Danny Dimes. Throw it on a dime like I ain't even trying. At the Cincinnati Bengals, a juicy matchup, but he's Daniel Jones. Right? You like the matchup, you hate the player. Not that I hate the player, I think Daniel Jones has tons of talent, but he also has tons of talent at fumbling the fucking football, so Daniel Jones stays down here at number 18. At number 19, we have the man with 11 kids, Phillip Rivers versus the Tennessee Titans. Now, Jonathan Taylor has the Rona, so he's not going to play. Do we see a huge game out of Nyheim Hines, which is just him scoring off of a bunch of dump-offs, which results in Phillip Rivers having a great game due to doing nothing and just dumping the ball off? Maybe. The old man, Phillip Rivers, quarterback 19. Could be a lot worse than Rivers, but could be a lot better. At number 20, we have Baker the Faker Mayfield at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, Baker will have to do absolutely nothing in this game in order for them to dick down the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is going to be a run-heavy attack all over that Jags defense ass, so I think Baker Mayfield does all right. He'll probably throw like a touchdown or two, but I don't expect a big yardage game out of Baker Mayfield, considering they won't need him to throw the ball very many times to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. So thank you guys all so much for watching. If you did end up enjoying this video, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Not only is it free, I put out content every single day to help you guys win that 2020 Fantasy Football Championship. So without further ado, the video is fucking ending. Without me holding you for too long, I love you all. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys check out Overlay DFS as well. Link down below in the description. I love you all. Have a great rest of your guys' day. Happy Thanksgiving again. I love you all. See you guys later in like an hour. Goodbye.